Fort William as a place is pretty magical. I mean, you know, you start off with the drive there as you're getting close through all the valleys and that amazing scenery. And that, for me, is when it starts, you know, you go through those valleys and it's like nowhere else in the world. Preparation for Fort William's quite unique, you know, it's a fast track, it's very rough, you know, it's just got these long, fast straights with just that gravelly, aggressive surface that you really have to be able to commit to. So, you know, preparation, it's a very physical track, very long as well, so, you know, you've really got to make sure you're fit and strong and you've got to be ready for whatever Fort William's going to throw at you.
It is a home race, so it's kind of hard not to get carried away and do too much, and then you're exhausted before you've even got there. But it's pretty much the same as other races, you know, lots of fast stuff, keeping you sharp and fast on the bike. And I guess it is quite unique up there. You get a lot of arm pump, it's a lot of fatigue, so trying to ride a bit more of the motorbike and get your upper body working a bit more. Well, Nick's amazing, you know, I really get on well with him. I always say to him, we're like the same person, really similar, and he hates it when I say that. But it's just great, you know, having someone that you really get on with. Those sessions in the gym and training is so hard, you know, you really need to put the work in. So having someone that kind of understands you, and he's just a great guy, you know, really good fun, and he knows a lot. He's an amazing coach, an amazing trainer, and we're really lucky to have him.
3, 2, 1, go! Big push, big push. That's it, there you go, go on, big effort. 3, 2, 1, stop. Well done. That's it, downhill now. Halfway. Halfway, only another 5 to go.
Mainly just like when you stand up, you get real dizzy and nearly faint. But I prefer to faint than be sick, which is much better. Let's try and leave the gym now. Got a couple of hours and then we come back in for weights.
So each rider on the team have got their own sort of build up to the race, and we've worked on pre-race routines that follow a similar sort of pattern, but each one will have their own specific things that they like, because when you get into sort of the business end of what you're doing, the races, it becomes as much as it's a pre-race routine, it's a pre-race ritual.
In the past, I've mainly looked at myself as a rider instead of my bike. So if my arms are getting sore, I've been like, oh, I'll go work on my upper body a bit more in the gym, or the other way around, I might need to get out and do some more XC riding and work on the fitness, where these guys can look at the way I'm feeling and change the bike setup and solve a problem in a matter of minutes instead of going back and having to do a couple of weeks of training. So it's pretty cool how much these little tweaks on the bike change the way you ride.
Joe's obviously the sort of head technician, so he's here at the office all the time, you know, preparing all the equipment, really making sure that everything is ready for that World Cup onslaught. You've got all the spares you need, all the bike parts, you know, all the tools, everything has to be pristine and ready to kind of tackle that week ahead. And Joe's kind of the main man in charge, and he makes sure that all the bits you need for 4 or 5 riders to tackle a World Cup are where they need to be.
Preparation is key, really. You can't just expect to rock up a race and, you know, get the most out of it or do 100%. It's from every side of things, so the rider preps all off-season and does more specific training beforehand. We're testing products all off-season, just make sure they're all set and ready to go. And again, starting the specifics a few weeks leading up to the race.
Today we're heading out on the downhill bikes with the new data acquisition stuff we've got the boys are working on. So the plan is to see what my bike's doing and see what things we can change to make it go a bit faster.
I was out here at one of the local tracks near the office, putting in a bit of work really, getting some numbers, got the telemetry on the bikes, seeing what I've been riding, trying to set it up a bit better coming into Fort William now. We had a good weekend at the BDS, so I had a good weekend at the BDS last, and yeah, pretty keen to push on even further and see what we can do with the World Cup. Some of the bits are missing at the moment, but we have the battery pack here. I've got the potentiometer for the fork there. We also have one for the shock. Got a GPS unit here as well. And that combined with a speed sensor is enough to give us the information we need now just to get us going with this.
Fort William has always been kind of my nemesis track, you know, growing up racing, starting racing the World Cups. I could never win there. I would always be second or third, and I think I was second there 6 times before I actually won a race in 2013. And then since then it's gone pretty well. I've won a couple of times, had 1 disqualification, had a puncture, and then yeah, won the last 2 years. So it's always hard coming into that race knowing that you kind of the reigning champion of the track, so it's a bit of added pressure. So we're just here at Anstiniog in North Wales, just doing a bit of sort of downhill riding really. It's quite similar here to the Fort William sort of terrain and the track there, so really like loose gravel, so we're just banging out some runs and trying to get a good setup on the bike. The new bike feels amazing. We've been on it for a couple of weeks and it's just hard to get that sort of that perfect like race setup, but once you've got that, everything's perfect. It's flat out, really good on the rough stuff, which is where it counts, you know. It tracks the ground really well, so pretty impressed with it. Brownie's definitely stressing, you know, before a race. There's a lot to organise, there's a lot of logistics, and he's kind of planning everything, making sure everyone's in the right place at the right time, all the travel, you know, all the sponsor commitments, and then obviously us as riders and racers making sure that we're happy and we're preparing as well as we should be.
Yeah, Fort Williams for us is the, you know, alongside Worlds is the biggest event. Worlds is obviously performance-wise is probably the most important, but Fort William for us as a general team is, yeah, it's an important one we always look forward to, and yeah, one we always like to get the most out of.
I think there's always a bit more pressure on them when they're going to Fort William because of the home crowd and because they want so badly to do well there. It's really hectic. There's been an awful lot of packing and unpacking going on in the last couple of days. We've had deliveries coming in, sort of, it seems like every half hour. Some of them have been damaged and have had to go back. So there's been mountains of cardboard, counting out sort of water bottles for athletes from SIG, goggles have come in from Oakley, Silverline tools for a shoot, so just loads and loads of things coming in to be put in the right places.
I guess going to Fort William is kind of nice because it doesn't really feel like a World Cup. It's quite relaxing, you know, you're kind of chilling out, and we've been up there already this year for the British race, so it's quite a relaxed vibe. And even when you're riding, you start practice and it's sort of, you know, you feel like you're at home almost, and then suddenly sort of Friday, Saturday, all the people start arriving and it hits you that actually this is a World Cup, we need to take things a bit more seriously. But it's a great place and the track's super fun, so that's what matters.
The crew from Atherton Racing all head up there over the weekend, and you know, it's a big old crew now. We've got a big crew of mechanics, you know, team manager Dan Brown, Jill from Atherton Racing comes with us, you know, there's a chef, there's masseur, you know, family and friends all tagging along as well. So, you know, it's like a small circus rolling into town. It only adds to the atmosphere, if you like, all these people turning up.
Yeah, the track looks good. Everyone down this morning in beat practice is raving on, saying it's pretty wild, saying it's chopping up already, so pretty keen to get up there, see what it's doing and get amongst it.
Awkward start to the year, crashing at the BDS here a few weeks ago.
just taken a bit of an injury from that, and it's meant I'm going to be out of action for a little bit now. It was the second round of the British Downhill Series, and I literally had a great weekend. Practice went really well, got some really good training in, qualified fastest, and then in my final run in the afternoon, I left the start gate, hit the first turn, and then as I hit the first jump, I just got a little bit kicked, and it was just an awkward angle that sent me over. Big crash, tumbled, knocked myself out, took a few hits, dislocated my hip, which meant slow recovery.
Yeah, so G's like sat around the pits, on his crutches and kind of scaring me a little bit. You look at him and you're like, oh no, it's really possible to crash at any time, and get injured. But I mean, that's the name of the sport. G's been up there for so many years. He's had all the injuries. It's kind of part and parcel of it. So that's part of going fast, isn't it? I suppose. So you just got to take the highs and the lows. Hopefully this weekend it'll be a good high. Sort of first practice runs, it always just blows your mind how rough it is. It's so physical, so rough, holes everywhere, really rocky, and it's been a bit wet up there, so the wooden section's like really savage, big ruts everywhere. It's hard, it's a hard track, so feeling a little bit nervous but exciting. The winning streak started here in Fort William in 2015, and I've won 14 World Cups in a row, 2 World Championships, so it's kind of, the time to be beaten is coming, and hopefully it's not this weekend, another home win, your family's here, your friends, it would just be unreal. But I think a Brit girl is going to win this weekend, whether it's me or not, so it's pretty exciting. The sports is such a good place, and the women's category is so strong. Yeah, it's just an exciting race, and obviously the crowd here is unreal, and that's kind of what makes it so special.